Hi everyone. Talking about your research papers, more specifically about this first assignment of coming up with a research topic and then writing a relevant research question. Many of the topics that you presented on September 15 were broad and were trying to explain a little bit too much. In a college term paper that we write in political science, we should try and focus and narrow down what is it that we want to study and try and think about things that we can really study and make and do research on them. Now, please remember that I'm here to help you and follow up with you, and I'm very happy to give you more feedback. So after you get my initial comments in your gradebook, you should probably follow up with me by email and try to refine your topic more by getting more feedback from me. It is always a process, and it's much easier when somebody provides you with constant feedback. So please do contact me, come to office hours, set up a meeting, email me if that's the best way for you to communicate. I'm happy to provide you more feedback and help you in this process. I also placed last week, as I told you, or the week before that, this handout over here that's called How to Develop a Good Research Topic. You can find it in week number 4 in our weekly plans. Okay. And once you click on it, it's going to download a 3-page document that I compiled some years ago to help students when writing research papers. But I want to focus with you specifically on this part, which talks about the research question. Okay? And writing a good research question can define how well the rest of the research paper is going to go. Because if you try to do too much, if your research paper is too broad, is not really guiding you or guiding whoever reads your paper in the direction of what you really want to say, that can impact the rest of the paper. So coming up with a good research question is very, very important. Now, in political science and international relations and the study of terrorism in political science, we're trying to be scientific. And because of that, we are trying not just to describe a specific event. So papers that just describe what happened in 9/11 or describe what happened in the July 11 attacks in London or anything along these lines are good, but they're not research paper because you're not explaining a process. Okay? So your topic needs to be seen, or your paper needs to be seen as looking at one case or a specific question, but then you need to be able to ask, what is this an example of? Try to use why and how questions rather than what and who questions. So not descriptive questions, but analytic questions. I'm trying to explain something. Okay? We are trying to show causality or getting close to showing causality or correlation, relationship between variables and the patterns of behavior. So in your paper, you should be explaining something, and then the research question should make it clear what is it that you are trying to explain. And here are some examples of research papers in political science. They are not specifically terrorism related, but still, you can look at those as examples. So for example, I can ask, what is the relationship between the amount and type of natural resources a country has and the international pressure to abide by human rights law? That's what I'm trying to show or to search or to study in this paper. A different way to put this same question is as a problem statement, okay? So I'm saying this study or this paper will test the hypothesis that resource-rich countries are put under less international pressure regarding violation of human rights. And then finally, another way to present the same question is, are resource-rich countries pressured less regarding human rights law? Okay, so I'm trying to explain the relationship between countries that are rich in natural resources and how much pressure do other countries or international organizations put on them when it comes to violation of human rights. And so I ask those questions, and therefore, after that, those questions kind of lead me down to what kind of research I can do here. If I'm trying to show a pattern of relationship between countries that are rich in natural resources and how much international pressure is placed on them if they violate human rights, then it's it's almost clear what I need to do next. I need to find countries that are rich in natural resources and countries that don't have natural resources and compare them, saying if they do the same thing in violating human rights, which country gets more or less international pressure. Okay, but this is all starting up with a very well-defined research question. So what I want you to do right now is to go back to your topics, and even those of you who already submitted the next step of a research question, look at it again. It's okay if you can revise it. When I'm going to grade your research question, this time, this is not just about did you do it on time or not, it will be about the quality of the research question. So some of you may see lower grades on that specific assignment in the first iteration that you do it. When you do see a lower grade, instead of getting upset with me and deciding that this class is no good for you, I do expect you to read my feedback, contact me if things are not clear, and go for a second attempt. I will then, once you resubmit it, will then revise and upgrade your grade accordingly. So don't worry about the numerical grade that you see at first about the research question. Instead, try to understand what was not done well and what can be improved. And as I said, I am looking forward to working with each and every one of you and helping you coming up with the best research question for the research paper you want to write this term.